Hello, everyone. I am Fabian with ChristosAvatar.com, and we will be continuing our Secret Mysteries of Ascension, Atlantis and Egypt playlist series. And this is part of 5. And today we'll be talking about Atlantean advanced ET technology and about Templar Anunnaki resistance. So in the previous video, we were last talking about the Anu Melchizedeks, and it was this newly created Anu Melchizedeks, uh, it organized their cultures around the spiritual and scientific teachings of the law of one. So there is people who are following from the founder races of the love and light, from the three flame races, from the ascended masters. They're the ones who are following love and light. Then there's negative beings who choose to follow the path of chaos. This is what they want to do. So now, so they follow anti-law of one, or anti-inner Christos teaching. So like literally reverse mechanics. Now, members of the Hebrew starseed, the hybrid Hebrew peoples, migrated from other regions to both Atlantis and Lemuria, and each bringing with them the teachings of the Law of One. And so, as well, civilizations on Earth prospered, and the Syrian Council, they allowed the Atlantean and Lemurian cultures to receive gifts from the advanced stellar races, which rapidly developed the technological aspects of society, like to heights far exceeding our cultures. Excuse me. Our present day modern cultures, they were more advanced. So it's like did you hear what I said? You think that most ancient cultures are less advanced, automatically less intelligent? No. So it's like these ancient cultures from our past, they were more advanced in technology and knowledge than our current modern civilization. And the Syrian blues of Sirius B, they brought large crystalline power generators, colossal, to Earth as a gift, to the Atlantean and Lemurian cultures. And they taught the Antrians, the Lemurians, Anu Melchizedeks. Now we're learning more about our culture. So, our background, our origins, right? Some of the lives that you lived in are some of these races, in Atlantean times. So, and these races, excuse me, they were they were being taught how to draw like energy directly from the D2 Earth core and store it, within the colossal size crystal generators. So imagine taking that massive power and utilizing it and running your civilization off of. So it was actually like permission was granted by the Elohim and the Ra Confederacy to allow like power to be drawn from the blue flame of Amente through the passageway of the Ark of the Covenant. So they're trying to get this advanced fifth dimensional energy, right? So the power of the blue flame allowed Atlantean civilization to access multidimensional frequency through which, Earth's gravitational pull, it could even be neutralized. So objects could be manifested and demanifested. Objects could be teleported to desired locations. Bioenergetic healing, chakra healing. It became like a way of life for everybody. It's normal, and so actual biological, genetic evolution, it was accelerated. Like control over diseases and sicknesses and advanced technologies like the med bays that have been talked about. So it's like this is real. This is and the Atlantean and well the Lemurian cultures thrived, and the Anu Melchizedek and Hebrew peoples, well, they became the primary Earth guardians of the Ark of the Covenant portal. Now, we know from other sources that the Hebrews are connected to the Ark of the Covenant, but now you know more actual indigo, Emerald Order knowledge. So what it really is, what it became, it's to the Ark, So now the original portal passage, or you would say like a portal doorway to the Ark of the Covenant, it was located somewhere within the landmass of the Atlantean continent. And through this like interstellar passageway, power was fed through the Earth's grid, to like Lemurian continent and various other developing civilizations. So they're using some pretty high tech power, and with power, like this, like energy power, like we're stuck in the dark ages. Could say the dark ages of fossil fuels and this electricity. That's all? No, it's not all. So, it was their main, but it was their main source, these high levels power sources, for this advanced, thriving, stellar communities. And so Earth civilizations flourished following the law of one. So, and the Egyptian culture, like, prospered, and Egypt, like, became like a center hub for the, like, Anu Melchizedek, the Hebrew, and the Ceres Egyptians, guardians of the Ark of the Covenant, And Atlantean culture also prospered, not just Egypt. And so, as the generator crystals were once again restored, like, to operation, being put out of service for a while, I know some of you have memories of these great crystals in Atlantis or in Lemuria, and that you worked with them. You worked with crystal energy. Oh, this is part of all our heritage. This is part of our source of energy, you would say. We use crystals, and unfortunately, crystals were also weaponized. But now the generator crystals were once again charged with this, like, multi-dimensional frequency, using the Ark of the Covenant kind of like as a conduit. It's a conduit being used as a multi-dimensional conduit, a portal in Egypt. So as Atlantean and the Lemurian cultures thrived, other stellar cultures watched and waited. Members of the Anunnaki resistance, maybe. That's the negative Anunnaki. And their, dragon, Dracos allies. They had long planned to overtake Earth territories, and waiting maybe a little dim, until their growing civilizations had reached like a height of maturity, and motivated by their own desires, to utilize the Earth as an evolutionary option. So, okay, they want to come to our planet. What happens to us? So, the Anunnaki resistance quietly started, infiltrating the Atlantean culture. And this is like, now we're getting to about 55,000 years ago. And they were covertly moving within the ranks of, the good Anunnaki of the Syrian Council. They're trying to move on in. That's what they're experts in: manipulation, deceit, subterfuge, lying, cheating. This is your energy that you're serving. So, it's free will, right? So once established on Earth, the Anunnaki resistance, they started to interbreed with the Anu. Yeah, the Anu Melchizedeks. That's what they're good at. They like to go and pollute with their templates with other templates, and so that's art of war. So, and over a period of generations, they started distorting the Anu. Oh, genetic lines, really? With the Templar seal. They had something called the Templar seal, which is a DNA seal, which had been placed on this, Anunnaki resistance members who refused to accept the Treaty of El Anu. I haven't gotten into like a detail of the Templar seal, because it doesn't actually affect well, the Earth seeds and the star seeds. But during this time, there was already seals, right? It's like a it was like a between this period of time, the teachings of the Law of One were slowly distorted. As this creed, kind of like anti-Christic creed, anti-Law of One creed of the Templar Solar Initiates of Tara. Remember them? They're the ones who started this whole mess, right? Which this Anunnaki rebellion helped devise. So it came to replace the sacred teachings, like creating division, amongst the Atlantean civilization. You got some serving one side, the light side, one serving the dark side. Are you surprised at this? Does it sound familiar? Has anyone learned from mystery? But these negative Anu are called the Anu, well, the Templar Anu, and they began to spread their influence into like other cultures. And this is my amethyst, baby. But they began to take control, gaining like covert control over like Egyptian lands and several other smaller cultural centers. So it's like through this period of rebuilding and expansion, it was nice, but the influence of this Templar, negative Templar Anu, it continued to spread. And it was creating a growing like chasm between races, serving it's like those serving the Law of One and those falling under the influence of that Anunnaki resistance, Templar Solar Initiates creed, and who were against the Law of One. So this is like familiar because we're living the Atlantean drama. I mean, this is the Atlantean conspiracy, the Atlantean drama that we're living. And parts of us, aspects of us, are living in this drama. We can connect to those memories. We connect to that consciousness. So, but this is a negative creed, and they started creating this. It's a distorted, negative, twisted version of the Law of One. And so, remember these Templar Solar Initiates. They're the ones who caused the original cataclysm in Tara, which caused the fall of man, the fall of our consciousness down to earth, right? So, that's who's still messing with us. So, in Egypt, this negative Templar Anu were at first met with resistance because some knew what was up. Some of you know what's going on. You know what's going down, right? So some of them did at that time. So they had this resistance at first, but so they started locating to Atlantis, where the Templar Anu had a stronger hold over the cultural environment, and it was easier for them to convert others. So this Templar Anu of Atlantis, they began using their influence, of course, to corrupt the Atlantean priest caste. Good ideas, but they're scandalous. That's what they do. They're experts, and they eventually, the social and moral climate in Atlantis decline under their influence. So they're like, our politicians or lawyers or people who don't represent the light and the love. It's very easy to see what people are doing and thinking and saying and doing. So what are they doing and saying and thinking? Well, that's what they serve. That's who they are. So, but they began, it's because they were basically motivated by the Anunnaki resistance, the Templar Anu. They began to dominate the races of Atlantean culture, and they made plans. Of course, they made some nice plans to conquer the lands of the inner earth. Okay, they plan to use those giant generator crystals to break through. I mean, they had some devious, like sadistic thinking processes, but they wanted to break through the electromagnetic barrier, which protect the portals of the inner earth. And this was a threat to all the races down there. And so some of these other races were concerned. it's like they were concerned for the welfare of the inner civilizations, and the high concentration of the positive, or the peaceful Anunnaki, or Anu Melchizedek, sorry. And there's a lot of them there and residing there. And so the positive Anunnaki of the Syrian Council petitioned that, that giant organization, the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. Okay, so they asked them for permission, to show a strength on Earth, show some strength, offering the races protection against this this crazy, sadistic, increasing Anunnaki resistance infiltration. Something, they're tired of this, so they need protection, and permission was granted. And so the Syrian Arcturian Coalition for Interplanetary Defense, it was called in to assist in this protective mission. Excuse me. So this is like war, more war, peace, war. It's like fun sometimes down here. At least not boring. So it was called in to protect, and so the primary target for this was obviously the Anunnaki resistance. Where was the manipulation mostly happening? It was in the area which was the Ark of the Covenant, near the gateway. That's where it was located. So Egypt became the focus of this, Syrian Council activity. And so this positive Anunnaki, and of the Syrian Council, they were first, sent to the planet Mars, and to recreate like an observational post, and that had been like constructed there during this 1,000 years of war, which they had hoped to basically try to intimidate the Anunnaki resistance, from further interfering with us and with Earth. So see, we don't understand this behind the things going on we think about our politics, our international politics. It goes beyond into the ET politics, okay, in the different dimensions, in the different densities. This is what we're dealing with. So but the Anunnaki didn't care. Like I said, they were undaunted by the presence of the Syrian Council. So the Anunnaki resistance, they went ahead and escalated their involvement with Atlantis and began like a resurgence of their influence in Egypt. So they posed like a greater threat to the security of the Ark of the Covenant. So, but so we're gonna in this video here, because you guys are gonna like the next one. It starts to get into the like pyramids, the Sphinx, the Egyptian gods. Some of you are interested in Isis, Osiris, Horus, Hathor, Anubis, but we're also talking about teleportation and the Ankhs, the power and technology of the Ankhs. That's going to be part 6. Check it out, you guys. Thank you for following this series. You're going to get to the end. You're going to be one of the ones that are knowledgeable, that are receiving these codes. Please like my video, you guys. Thumbs up, you guys. This is a lot of hard work. It takes all my time, and I'm doing it for you. All Indigos are trying to help, the humans in their ascension process, in their spiritual journey. And so we all have this responsibility. We should all have this passion. I love you. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for sharing your time, your comments. If you want to help out, if you want to donate and support this cause, this mission, this information, please do so. I leave the links for my PayPal. Thank you guys so much for being loyal and watching these videos, even though they're so long. The whole series is pretty long, but it is worth it. This is knowledge that's provided. So thank you so much. Love yourself, love others, and continue to develop yourself. Continue to learn this knowledge, and empower yourself. Learn how to use your energies with these Templar mechanics. I love you. Thank you for being here, holy ones. And you are holy, you are sacred, you are powerful, and brilliant and majestic. Peace. Namaste. Okay, one.